Hello and welcome. I don't know if this video is going to work correctly. I don't know if the microphone sound is going to come through correctly. I've spent all week trying to record one video, made 3 solid attempts, and I tested the equipment so many times, and it failed every time. So I don't have notes right now for what I'm going to talk about. But what has been part of not even exactly sure where to start or what to say. I mean, for one thing is intention. You know, what are our intentions? What are our goals in every moment? Every moment, it's like a vector that determines the direction and the outcome of our consciousness. You know, we can't neglect material reality because we interact with it every day, all the time, but it is very unwise to neglect spiritual reality. However, people do it every day, all the time. And what it really comes down to is being able to pay close attention to not only like the subtle energy or feeling, but like what is life trying to tell us in any given moment? You know, this video that I had been working on was about the 5 core precepts in Buddhism. And I read a couple of suttas, recorded, redid my notes, recorded, tested all the equipment, everything, recorded again. And it was, at first I thought it was like, you know, look again, look again, look again. There's something there. There's something that I'm missing. And I think it's intention. You know, I think it's neglecting the subtleties and really not giving attention to my intention. It says in the suttas, you know, there is this world, there is the other world. There are beings who are reborn spontaneously. There is mother, there is father. And it's important to be aware, not to neglect these things. You know, there is suffering in life, but But there are victories too. There are highs, there are lows. None of it will last. But when I sit down to record, I have an expectation. I have notes. And it is a type of projecting. It is a type of, it's fabrication. And I was okay with that. There may still be fabrication in the future. I want to be playful. I want to be fun. But there are certain, ultimately, it's about not overlooking anything. I like to say it's not ignorance, it's ignorance. And I think that my heart, my intentions were not fully invested in the material. I have confidence in it. I have deep faith and confidence, and I've seen in my own life the transition, the transformation, the perceptions that can be gained through the teaching. It's invaluable. But you can't it's like they say, you can't give anything that you don't have. So this week has been a real personal check, a reflection. Where are my intentions? Where are my intentions in each present moment? Am I staying with what really matters? Because there's no I don't perceive any separation in this world, the other world, between spirit, between material reality. Nothing feels separate. It's not like one is in the sky and the other is on the ground, or one is in space and the other is on earth. It's all here. It's all happening here, and it's all happening now. And for a long time, what I understood was, if I had an accident, if I tripped, fell, stumbled, dropped something, it was because I was not being present. I was not present, fully present. But, there is cause and effect. But there is karma. There is spirit. There is intention. There is attention. And I think it's really important to keep awareness on all of these aspects, to maintain openness to all of these aspects. Neglecting any, ignoring any, results in a life that's out of balance. There is resistance. There is surrender. There is letting go. There are things to be abandoned, and there are things to be cultivated. Virtue and morality, wiser choices, better choices, the quality of our actions in the present moment is to be cultivated. Those things that take us into, as they're put, greed, aversion, and delusion, the craving, the wanting, the desiring, the resistance, the anger, the irritation, the resistance, the ill will, the ignorance, the neglect. You can know something is important and still neglect it. All of these will have consequences. Do we pay attention to the consequences? Do we look at, do we see what the consequences are telling us? Or do we ignore yet another cycle of consequences and ultimately struggle with the same problem over and over, and then have to ask, why does this keep happening? What am I doing wrong? What can I do better? And sometimes we blame some external circumstance. It is their fault. It is his fault, her fault. Get angry with some aspect of divinity. It's not my fault. It's the universe's fault. It's God's fault. It's Satan's fault. The negligence is here. It's not there. And the spirit is here. The help is here. The beings reborn spontaneously are here. Devas and Nagas of mighty power. There is the sharing of merit prayer that I like and I've been reciting a lot this week. May suffering beings be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share in this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. This has been Burning Buddha, Life in the Stream. You can reach me at bblitsofficial@gmail.com. Thank you. Have a good day. So many people talk about manifestation. and how they want to create something better, something more pleasant, more ideal. And I think the wisdom comes from looking at what's already been created. You know, we all exist in some kind of reality. We all have aspects of our life that exist: social, uh, material, a vehicle, a house, a job, a routine, habits, thoughts, emotions, a body. So there are all these aspects that are already present that we can look at, that we can examine and observe. And we can look at constituent parts and pieces and elements and how they interact with one another. We can perform an action and observe for the results of that action. We can have a thought and observe for the results of that thought. There are all these things that can be done just with intention and attention. It's possible to see how the release of tension influences the fluidity of our daily lived reality. It's possible to see how our mind grabs onto bodily tensions, tells a story about it. There is the action and the quality of our actions in each present moment. And there is ignorance. There is desire and ravenousness, craving. And there is resistance, ill will, irritation, anger. And then, restlessness, anxieties, nervousness, panic. And of course, there's a whole host of emotions that trouble us that aren't specifically mentioned in the suttas. Feelings that we're not enough, that we're not worthy. There's guilt, there's shame, unease. And these things get clumped together and called suffering. And maybe that doesn't resonate with people. Maybe it seems impersonal. Ultimately it is impersonal. But my beloved Lisa and I used to get in arguments, and she would say it's not personal. And I said, everything is personal. Everything is personal. And the person is it's like your gear. The body, mind, personal, emotion, thought, consciousness, attention, intention. It's your vehicle with all your gear and your equipment. That's what you're piloting through a multi-dimensional conscious universe. And that's all you got. You got to pilot yours. You got to pilot your ship. I pilot mine. We can't pilot anybody else's ship. We can be aware of all this suffering and all these people that need help and want help. But it's like the analogy of the oxygen mask or something. You put your oxygen mask on first, because if you can't breathe, how are you going to help somebody else breathe? I went through EMT training. There was basically a similar training. You gotta watch out for your safety first. If you're not safe, how are you gonna? Oh my gosh! Axel, 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 Axel! My dog is attacking an armadillo.